It started on a Tuesday. Madison Grant, a single mother and high school science teacher, woke up to an unusual silence outside her home in Ridgepine Heights. Normally, the hum of early commuters and the distant beep of trash trucks would echo through the cul-de-sac. But this morning, nothing. She slipped on her slippers, opened the door, and froze. The street was gone. Not literally gone, but sealed. Thick steel barricades now lined both ends of the road like military checkpoints. Signs in bright red letters read, "Private." Road HOA restricted zone, do not cross without permit. Madison rubbed her eyes. This had to be a prank. Within minutes, neighbors started coming out, all just as confused. Elderly Mr. Renner from across the street was pacing with his morning paper still in hand. "This wasn't here yesterday," he muttered. "No notice, no vote, nothing." Then came them, a small convoy of identical black golf carts, each with the HOA emblem painted in gold. And leading them Camilla Rowe, the newly appointed president of the HOA. She stepped out, wearing oversized sunglasses and a sharp gray suit, and raised a megaphone. "Attention residents," she announced. "Ridgepine Heights is piloting a security-first living initiative. These barriers are temporary, designed to protect our families, enforce property boundaries, and raise neighborhood value." Madison's eyes narrowed. Security first? No one had been consulted. A man from the crowd spoke up. "Where's the emergency access? What if someone needs an ambulance?" Camilla gave a tight smile. "All emergency services have already been notified. RFID tags will be issued." "Please remain calm." The crowd did not remain calm. Madison watched as neighbors argued, shouted, and demanded answers. But HOA security, a group of off-duty officers now apparently hired for enforcement, stood like statues, its arms folded, watching everything. That evening, an envelope was taped to Madison's front door. Inside was a sleek, glossy pamphlet, titled Ridgepine Heights 2.0. A safer tomorrow starts with control today. It outlined new rules, dozens of them, curfew hours, permit requirements for overnight guests, surveillance drones testing above rooftops. The HOA now had legal backing to monitor compliance using smart technology. It didn't feel like safety. It felt like lockdown. 3 days after the barricades went up, Madison's doorbell rang. It was 6:12 a.m. She opened the door, still groggy, only to find a small drone hovering just above her welcome mat. A mechanical voice buzzed. "Good morning, resident 47AU. Are in violation of HOA Ordinance 14.3. Unapproved trash bin placement. Fine, $85. The drone dropped a small printed citation and zipped off. That same morning, Madison's teenage son Tyler tried to ride his bike to school. At the end of the street, the barricade's scanner blinked red. Resident tag not recognized. Underage transport requires guardian escort. Tyler turned back, furious. "It won't let me leave the street without you. Are we prisoners?" Now, Madison felt a chill crawl down her spine. That afternoon, she marched straight to the HOA clubhouse, now remodeled into a glass fortress with a biometric entry scanner. After placing her palm on the scanner, the doors slid open with his dot inside. Camilla Rowe sat behind a massive oak desk beneath a portrait of herself. "I want answers." "Atsunata." Madison snapped. "This wasn't voted on. You're locking us in, issuing fines, and tracking our kids." Camilla didn't flinch. "Ms. Grant, we've all read the same contract. Clause 19, the association reserves the right to modify neighborhood security without resident input in urgent circumstances." "What urgent circumstances?" Madison asked, voice shaking. Camilla leaned forward with a cold smile. "Would you prefer a break-in? A stray dog? Or heaven forbid another incident, like the one in Oak Ridge Hills?" Madison blinked. Oak Ridge Hills? She had no idea what that. Even was as she left the office, she noticed the walls were now lined with facial recognition monitors, showing every home's front door feed in real time. That night, she gathered a small group of neighbors in her backyard. Tyler, Mr. Renner, a nurse named Callie, and Rajan, a consultant who lived at the corner. They spoke in whispers, They installed cameras inside my backyard, Collie whispered. I caught one camouflaged on the fence. It rotates automatically. Rod showed them a diagram on his tablet. The fence is connected to a mesh network. It doesn't just record, it communicates. Someone or something is watching 24/7. Madison's instincts kicked in. They're building something bigger than just security. Tyler leaned in. Mom, the fence lights blink in patterns. Morse code. I looked it up. I think someone's sending messages. They stared at him. That night they watched. The fence, 3 blinks. Pause. 2 blinks. Long pause. 3 more. SOS, someone inside the system was trying to reach out, but from where? And who was controlling what? The knock came at 6:03 a.m. sharp. Emily barely had time to pull on a hoodie before opening the door. 2 HOA board members were standing there, flanking Karen Claymore, who wore a smug grin and carried a clipboard like it was a badge of power. Emily Harper, Karen said, all fake sweetness. We have reason to believe your backyard is housing illegal surveillance equipment. Under HOA Bylaw 16.7, Section C, I'm authorized to conduct an inspection. Emily didn't flinch. You mean the fake bylaw you added 3 weeks ago? Karen's smile twitched. If you refuse, we'll begin eviction proceedings. From behind Emily, a calm voice replied, then you'll need to take that up with federal counsel. It was Ethan. He stepped forward with a sealed envelope and handed it to Karen. This is a cease and desist letter from the Department of Cybersecurity. You're interfering with an active investigation. Karen's expression faltered. Emily added, you installed a smart fence with unauthorized biometric scanning, facial recognition, and illegal audio pickups on private property. That's not security. That's surveillance. Karen scoffed. You're being dramatic. The community voted no. Ethan cut in. You manipulated them. You faked votes through the HOA portal, traced every IP, and now the feds are watching. Karen's eyes narrowed. You think people care about privacy when they're getting free Amazon package locks and robot lawnmowers? Behind her, the 2 board members looked increasingly uneasy. Emily stepped forward. You tried to control everything. Our schedules, our gardens, our guest lists. You built a prison and called it a neighborhood. Just then, a loud beep came. From Karen's SMARTWATCH. Emily already knew what it was. That'll be your smart fence going offline. Your cloud access was revoked this morning. Karen's jaw dropped. You hacked it? No, Ethan said. I built it. You just never bothered to read the licensing agreement. We own the firmware. Suddenly, a flood of neighbors began stepping out of their homes, one by one, curious. Watching someone had posted the HOA's secrets online an hour ago. His amendments, the backdoor surveillance clause, the budget fraud. It was all out now. A few phones were already pointed at her, recording. Karen's face turned ghost white. We trusted you, someone yelled from the sidewalk. Is it true you recorded our kids at the pool? Another shouted. Emily didn't say a word. She simply walked down the steps and handed one final file to one of the board members. Inside were signatures, enough to dissolve the HOA. The silence was deafening. Karen turned to run, but a black SUV pulled up to the curb. 2 men in suits stepped out and showed badges. Karen Claymore, Lon asked. We need to speak with you about your activities with the Claymore Civic Management firm. As they escorted her toward the vehicle, Emily looked up at Ethan and whispered, It's over. He smiled. For now. The sun began to rise over the neighborhood, quiet, clean, and finally, free.